On today's show, the Detroit Pistons losing streak hits 26 straight games. How did it get this bad in Detroit? How concerned should the Pistons be about Cade Cunningham's future with this team? And who's to blame most for where the Pistons are at right now? It's all coming up right here at Locked On NBA.
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up and welcome to another edition of Locked On NBA, the biggest stories with the local experts. I'm your host, Jackson Gatlin, also host of Locked On Rockets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Joining us now is the host of Locked On Pistons, Ku Khahil. You can track down wherever you listen to your podcasts or on YouTube. Just search Locked On Pistons. And Ku, the Detroit Pistons have matched the NBA's single season record now with 26 straight losses, tying them with the 2010-2011 Cleveland Cavaliers as well as the 2013-2014 Philadelphia 76ers. The only team with a longer losing streak, the Philadelphia 76ers back in 2014, 2015, and then into 2015, 2016, that 28-game losing streak that spanned across 2 seasons. The last time we had you on Locked On NBA Monday, Ku, I think the losing streak was around like 9 or 10 games, and the narrative was Cade needs help. How did we get from that to where we are now with this Pistons team?
Well, they didn't get Cade help. That's how we got here. They didn't get Cade help. And now it not only is it unraveling on the court, it's unraveling behind the scenes. This is a really, really messy situation going on right now in Detroit. Tom Gores, the owner, just came out 2 nights ago, I believe, which was, take for what you will, that the story dropped at 12:01 at night, 12:01 a.m., that he all of a sudden decided to speak up. I think we all know why that happens. To try to keep it all as hush-hush as possible and not have it be as big of a news drop. But he came out and spoke about how, there will be changes, but it's not going to be the ownership. It's not going to be in the front office. It's not going to be in the coaching staff. Basically said that they're probably going to be looking to try and make some trades. And, I think that's, I think that it's almost too late for that, all that kind of stuff. I think they have to make a change. That's true. They have to do something. They cannot continue to trot this out every single night. But it's at 26 games. Like, trade should have happened earlier. Guys should be losing their jobs. Like, this should not be something that in year 4 of your rebuild is something that should ever be on the board of playing. And right now, what's on the board is possibly having the worst season in NBA history. There's no reason why people should be keeping their jobs after this, because the front office told the fan base that this was going to be the year they start competing, and they're playing meaningful games in April, and the only meaningful games they were playing in the first week of the season. So it's just, this is a messy situation because of this. Like I said, not just on the court, it's messy. Off the court, it's getting really bad. Probably going to start hearing some stuff within the next few weeks, I assume. It's just a really, really messy situation, and I like to compare it a little bit from my outsider's point of view, Jackson, to kind of how I think Pistons fans looked at the Rockets situation last year. Pistons fans all last season were like, yeah, we're bad, but at least we don't have drama like the Rockets. Like that was the whole like feeling amongst Pistons fan base. And now this year, the Rockets went out and actually got players to help their young guys, help them get to the next level. Now the Rockets are a good team. And now this year, the Pistons did nothing, and now they're the one with the drama. Now they're the ones with stuff going on behind the scenes. Now they're the one looking like the worst team of all time. So it's quite the situation that has backfired on them, and it's crazy how it's gotten here.
How worried are you, Ku, about Cade Cunningham's future at this point? When you talk about Tom Gores coming out and kind of alluding to, making changes and kind of basically pointing the finger at the players and basically saying we're going to make some trades maybe, and whether it's too late for that, does it feel like Cade is still the cornerstone, Mr. Untouchable, whatever, or do you think he could be on the chopping block, or even potentially worst case scenario, do you think Cade is at a point where he might ask out or ask for a trade or demand a trade?
Okay, well, first, I don't think he's on the trade block. I think the reason why changes are happening is because Cade talked with them and let them know that I need help. I just read an article from one of my friends, Zarik Turner. He's one of the credential media members with the Pistons this season. He just wrote an article talking about everything he's heard over the last few weeks. And I can confirm, not that it was leaked out by I believe it was James Edwards of The Athletic last week after Cade dropped 43 points. In that game, I won't go into it. I'll let people figure it out for themselves. But after that game, Cade went and met with Troy Weaver and Tom Gores and let them know some things and some things that needed to change. And these changes, I think, obviously would be happening nonetheless. But the fact that Cade is kind of on, I think Cade and his camp are losing patience a little bit, and they've kind of let it known. And Cade going out there the last few games and doing everything he can, because there was a point in the Philadelphia 76ers game a few games ago where it looked like Cade had given up. He was mentally broken. He only took 4 shots throughout that game. I've never seen him look like that before. He looked like he was completely checked out, like he was mentally broken down. And then after that game, he has been doing everything he can over the last 4 or 5 games to try to get the Pistons just one win. He dropped 43 points the other night. This past game, he did everything he could. And I believe it was the game against the Jazz, against a Jazz team that sat half their rotation, did everything he could, and wasn't enough. And I had never seen him look the way he looked walking off the court. He looked like he was holding back tears. And then walking back into the press conference room, I was told that he did have tears in his eyes. So it's not even just about the fact that what's going on the court. The Pistons are breaking him down mentally. They're breaking down his mental. And I know that he's told them that some things need to happen. I know his camp is ready to need some things to happen. Do I think they're trading Cade? No, they're doing this. I think they're doing this because they're on a 26-game losing streak, but they're also doing this because they know that Cade's getting sick of this. Do I think that Cade will want out? I find it hard to believe that he would turn down a rookie extension. We've never had someone turn down a rookie extension. And from everything I understand and heard, Cade loves the city. Cade loves the fans, and he wants to be the one that turns this team around. One of the main things he's told me, and his team has told me multiple times, is that he could have, when the draft was around, he's from Texas. He could have tried to tank his value to go to Houston at 2. He could have tried to do that, tell him not to draft me. But he wanted this pressure. He wanted to be the one that turned the Detroit Pistons around. He wanted everything that came with this. So I don't think that he would ask out. But I think if things don't start to get better within the next 2 years or so, yeah, I think he could be someone that signed the rookie extension and then you have him asking out for a trade maybe in like 2026 or something, 2025. I don't think it's something soon, though, unless things just get like historically awful.
I mean, I think we're pretty much
we're
almost in that. We're in that historic territory right now.
It's getting there. Maybe more so off the court. On the court, I don't think there's something that could get him to ask out. I think off the court, that maybe. But I don't think the team's dumb enough to do that.
Can the Detroit Pistons end their historic losing streak, and can Cade Cunningham be the guy to turn this Pistons franchise around? You're going to have us covered for all of that and so much more over at Locked On Pistons. Ku, thanks for stopping by Locked On NBA with me.
Appreciate you.